Kaya ang inaasahan na lang nila ay yung kakampi nila. Halimbawa lang, no, mga kakampi nila na mga senador. Well, una, these are opinions of different people, no. The stand and the position of the House prosecution team is that we will comply whatever would be the directive and whatever would be the decision of the impeachment court. That would also include the decision of the Senate exercising their exclusive right to decide who would be their presiding officer in an open trial. So these comments and these opinions on certain member of the Senate does not reflect the substance of the charges and the evidence that the prosecution would present to the impeachment court. So we respect the decision of any individuals challenging the personality of any of the members in the Senate, the way that we also respect the decision of the Senate should they arrive on who would be the presiding officer in an impeachment trial.
But sa bahagi ko naman, I think fully prepared yung House Prosecution Panel to deliver the evidence, whoever sits as presiding officer. So may paniniwala tayo sa capability nila, may paniniwala tayo sa ebidensya that has been speaking for itself for some time now. Ang kailangan lang talaga natin, day in court, no? And continuously, the presiding officer, albeit sila ay magro-rule on the objections and ways by which that questions can arise and objections can arise. The challenge of the people has always been there. I want to believe for now that he will be fair.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Isa. We will now recognize Rapi Tima from GMA7.
Mas mapapadali po ba yung trabaho ng prosecution pag ganun pa rin yung estilo ng defense? Puro generalization at puro rebuttal lang?
Well, hindi ako abogado, pero kung ipa-apply natin sa regular na paski sa barangay man lang, 'di ba? Sa barangay dispute, no? Mas napapadali ma-resolve ba kung halimbawa yung isa ay puros lang general denial at wala silang maibibigay na counter na ebidensya para pabulaanan yung mga akusasyon ng kabila. So again, if that is their strategy, then that's their business. But ultimately, they have to really defend the Vice President and explain to the people what really happened with the confidential funds, what really happened with the SALN, bakit ganito yung mga hindi na ipapaliwanag sa taong bayan saan napunta yung pera. So ultimately, yes, to give you a straight answer, that would definitely boost the charges or the allegation of the House prosecution team as contained under the articles of impeachment.
Ang dadagdag ko na lang din po, well, hanggang dulo, ang inaasahan natin ay totoong sagot. Kung walang totoong sagot, paano natin pangahawakan yung general denial na hindi totoo yan? May limitation po yan. Pag sinabing, oh, hindi totoo yan, pero wala kang po-provide na substance kung bakit hindi totoo yun. No? In a court of law, sa pagtitimbang niyan, may bigat yung sinasabi nating allegation, tapos i-prove mo yan, at wala kang ibibigay na counterweight na para masabing hindi actually totoo yun. So yes, no, sa lohika lang po, it is to the detriment of VP Sara's case that there are no affirmative defenses being provided.
Just a quick follow-up. Pero at the end of this, at the other end of the spectrum, sadya po kaya ito dahil di na talaga nila sasagutin yung mga allegations, and they will at the end of the trial, they will rely on the number of senators that are allied to them para ma-acquit ang VP.
So if that is the case, then actually it validates our earlier position that they do not take seriously the impeachment trial, and they rely on if they are relying on numbers, then that only speaks about how they think the Vice President is excused from even applying the accountability mechanism of the Constitution. So kung seryoso po talaga na itong usapin ng impeachment trial ay pananagutan at eksplanasyon sa publiko kung saan napunta ang pera nila. Remember, ang pera po pinag-usapan dito, hindi po personal na pera ito. Personal pera po ito ng taong bayan. Kung ganun ang attempt nila at ganun ang gusto nilang ipaiwatig. Number one, tama ang aming obserbasyon na hindi talaga sila seryoso. Pangalawa, wala talaga silang isasagot at wala silang may isasagot. Kaya iniiwasan na lang nila ito. Kaya ang inaasahan na lang nila ay yung kakampi nila. Halimbawa lang, no, mga kakampi nila na mga senador, which actually is the very issue of the very issue and of accountability mechanism, because that is exactly the opposite of respecting the Constitution. Because it speaks about culture of impunity. I don't need to explain to you what I have or what I don't need to explain to you these charges. What is important is that I have, I have the political pressure to excuse myself of all these charges, which basically is the very definition of impunity.
Thank you, Rapi. Red Mendoza from Manila Times.
Good afternoon po mga kongs. Ito muna po, number one, may comment po si Attorney Edward Chico, noted legal commentator, and I'm quoting his Facebook post dito. Parang tanga si Luistro, yun daw 16 vote threshold to convict the VP should be reduced to 15 kasi daw 22 lang daw magpa-participate na impeachment trial. Ang basis niya ay Abilino versus Cuenco ruling, which is not applicable in this case. That decision pertains to the issue on quorum and relates to regular business of the Senate as a legislative body and not as an impeachment court. He even said na even if we resort to the liberal interpretation of the said provision, the only way we can reduce the threshold is when a senator ceases to be a member. And if it only happens when he dies, resigns, is expelled as a member or appointed to some government office. Your thoughts po doon sa sinabi ni Attorney Edward Chico na sinabi na parang tanga daw si Congressman Luis. Her words, not his words, not mine.
Yeah, let me begin by saying that those words are shouldn't be uttered by a lawyer to a fellow lawyer. This is exactly why we keep on saying that we can discuss about matters, even if we disagree, but please remain to be civil and remain to be respectful of the words that we would use. That's the first, and you can quote me on that. The second is that Chairman Luistro does not make it as a legal canon that the Senate would have to follow. That is her interpretation based on the practical and the current situation that the Senate is now facing, because the Constitution wants a Senate that is functional, that is responsive to the current situation. The Constitution wants the Senate to be functional in a way that actually can actually exercise is constitutional function and duty-bound directive, no? So I think it's not only Chairman Luistro who shares this opinion, but some other legal luminaries also came out with this position. Now, whether or not they agree with this opinion, it's a matter of debate. But I guess the Congresswoman Luistro came out with that position because what she thinks and what she actually adheres to are the opinions of legal luminaries that gives the Constitution power to adjust to the current situation. The Constitution should be dynamic. It should go hand in hand with the experience of man by way of implementing and applying it to the current scenario that we are having right now, which is basically, nobody can argue that two of the sitting senators are way beyond the coercive power of the Senate, meaning that their vote in an impeachment court, once they decide on rendering the decision, will not be possible simply because of some legal obstruction or legal problems that they face. No? Secondly, even if they do allow to vote, how can a sitting judge derive into a conclusion, a sound judgment, without even physically examining the evidence that will be presented by both the prosecution and the defense? Saan ka nakakita ng isang huwis na tinatry yung isang kaso na wala siya? Paano siya magre-render ng kanyang decision? So that's the practical, and unfortunately, nobody wanted the Senate to be reduced from 24 to 22 members. Nobody wanted that to happen, but it happened. And how can the Senate exercise its exclusive power by way of really responding to the current situation right now? That's where Chairman Luistro is coming from, to make the Senate functional, to make it, more relevant and responsive to the current situation now. Since impeachment trial is an exclusive power of the Senate, how can the Senate fully function and render sound judgment? Number two, it's not only the impeachment. If you have treaties that have the Senate has to concur, that's an exclusive power of the Senate. How can you concur treaties if you cannot even derive the absolute majority of members to vote? Hindi lang kasi impeachment. Other exclusive powers of the Senate granted by the Constitution, how can be able to have a functional Senate if you are strictly complying the conventional interpretation of the Constitution without even adjusting it, no? That's actually the interpretation of Chairman Luistro. So I think, and I appeal to all the officers of the court, you are legal people. You represent the structure and the foundation of this government. We are a country of laws and not of men. And I appeal to them. It's time to reintroduce civility in public discussion and avoid using derogatory terms. Please have the decency to engage in public discourse with civility, modesty, and respect to one another, even if we don't disagree, even if we don't agree with matters, with national concerns or matters that are important to us.
To add, I echo the sentiments of Kong Zia Alonto in calling for civility in this debate. No, this debate is natural dahil po may mga developments that now ang nangyayari, hindi na po makumpleto yung 24 ng Senate. Now, I think kapag tinatanong si Kong Jinky Luistro, the chair, and even kami ay nagiging mga natatanong ng ganitong questions, we run the full gamut of the academic discussion, lalo na dahil si Kong Jinky ay mahaba yung kanyang legal experience. Again, si Senator Bato is in hiding despite the fact that he showed up once and hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin po responsive kung nasaan na. And then may isa pong si Senator Jinggoy Estrada is facing a 90-day suspension. It's natural to have these debates. So now it's a matter of how to handle these debates. And syempre, may knowledge din tayo ng institutional decisions of the Senate. For example, when Senator De Lima, who is now one of the prosecutors here today, several times during her tenure, while she was unjustly imprisoned, asked to participate, whether via voting or being physically present in a limited capacity or even online participation at every turn, hindi po siya inaalaw na gawin yun. So, may ganun po tayong mindfulness ng debate and ng decisions noon when we talk about how to deal with this process now, na noon, bagamat hindi impeachment yung hinaharap, ano nang effect sa magiging impeachment ngayon? Yun lang po.
Okay. Second question, kasi may naglabas ng statement si Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, the deputy spokesman of the PDP, saying na they view the statements of Congressman Joel Chua na pagiging confident about the supposed strength of the four articles of impeachment, while in the same breath saying that the outcome of the trial will depend on the presiding officer of the impeachment court to be ludicrous, impertinent, and self-contradictory, therefore reflective of the character of the entire House prosecution team. And he also said na while Kong Chua is entitled to be as confident as he wants us to be, history teaches us that anything or confidence without anything to back it up is meaningless, citing yung kay Aguinaldo and yung sa World War II. And he ended, Attorney Topacio ended with, it would be more in keeping with decorum and delicacy if the House prosecutors would just, his quote, put a sock in their mouth, so to speak, and do their jobs when the trial begins. They should take heed of the saying that a loudly gurgling stream is the most shallow. Your thoughts po?
Edi wow.
No comment po dahil hindi po as relevant dito sa press conference which is about the pre-trial conference po. Thank you.
So you're saying na hindi irrelevant si Attorney Topacio because he's the spokesperson of the PDP Laban?
You cannot force us to comment on something that, you know, that's our comment. My personal comment is edi wow.
Okay. Last na lang po, may release ang Okta Research na survey saying na only less than 2 out of 10 Filipinos or 19% said that well, 19% of respondents only believe na evidence ang magbabase doon sa impeachment trial. 45% are skeptical, 49% are skeptical or they don't know, 32% no. What's your thought about the survey?
Well, that's the reason why we will have to have the open trial so that the people would know the evidence and will be also be, will also be given the, the picture, the whole picture which they deserve to know. That's exactly why pinupush natin yung immediate trial para malaman po ng taong bayan kung ano yung nilalaman ng mga ebidensyang to.
And our additional role is to explain the processes exhaustively so that karamihan, lahat tayo ay maging aware sa ins and outs of the impeachment. So again, ang call po sa mamamayan no, ay maging mapagmatsyag sa proseso, sa mga sagot, mga tugon na binibigay ng mga dalawang partido. Tapos tayo, let us be politically participative, politically active in this process.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Red. Before we end this press conference, we invite our resource persons to share their parting words.
Well, una, nagpapasalamat po tayo sa bagong liderato ngayon ng Senado dahil tuloy-tuloy na po ang impeachment pre-trial conference na ito po yung magiging signal na magkakaroon na po tayo ng actual na trial po sa darating na mga araw. So nagpapasalamat din po tayo sa ating media friends sa pag-cover nitong press conference namin ni Congresswoman Renico. Nais ko lang po again mag-appeal sa ating mga kababayan na habang pinag-uusapan po ito sa pre-trial conference, make sure po na tayo po ay attune tayo sa mga pangyayari nitong impeachment na to dahil para po ito sa ating mga kababayan, para po mabigyan ng explanation kung ano po yung nangyari sa kanilang sa kapera ng kaban ng bayan at para po mapatatag po natin ang ating konstitusyon.